Hey guys, it's Paradise, and did you love the Battlefield 6 beta but feel like some of the more traditional elements were missing? Well, we just got a big information drop that includes a new trailer and blog posts with information about some fan favorite features returning in Battlefield 6 that's going to make it so much better. The first and exciting thing is that the latest Battlefield PC trailer just dropped, and it's loaded with new clips and information about the PC features. Not only is the trailer saying it's the most advanced PC experience the franchise has ever had, but we also get a look for the first time at some returning and brand new maps. So let's get into that, and you can let us know which feature or map you want to return in Battlefield 6 down below. For us, we wish they would have kept the Levolution aspect, as this was always so cool to see the events trigger, and it was iconic to those Battlefields at the time. Now, one of the biggest pain points of the community during the beta was the lack of variety in the map sizes, with a lot of the maps feeling quite small and chaotic. Well, the new trailer shows off some of the larger maps that we'll be jumping into when the game releases. Both of these maps focus on combined arms, meaning a mix of infantry-based combat and vehicles, which is pretty much what Battlefield is known for. First is Operation Firestorm that's making a return. And well, it's still that same sprawling oil-field map filled with destruction and chaos. We always loved this one as it had explosions tearing through refineries and wide open areas that turned into absolute chaotic war zones. It felt like a map where you could make use of all the vehicles properly while still having that balance for ground combat, so we're glad to see this one is back. On the new side, there's Mirak Valley. This one's green and designed for large-scale fights. In the footage, you can see buildings, cranes, and bridges getting ripped apart in real time. In the blog, they actually uploaded a few images that gives us a better look at the map from an aerial view, and you can see just how spread out it is. So we're really ready to give this one a go. Now, the main point of the new trailer was actually not about the maps though, it was about a showcase of the PC features, which is something that the Battlefield studio are putting a strong focus on. The trailer highlights that it will support 4K with uncapped frame rates and ultra-wide up to 32:9. Alongside this though, the trailer also mentions that players will have access to over 600 customization options, covering everything from graphics tweaks to streamer tools. Even in the beta, the options menu was stacked, so we're happy to see that they're going all in offering those options for players. And to keep things fair, the Javelin anti-cheat system was built specifically to target FPS cheats using kernel level access. Although it's worth saying there were people cheating in the beta, so hopefully they can up their game for full release. If you want to see how this happened, you can check out this amazing video by Unity Research that goes into all of the nuances of how the cheaters were able to bypass the system. We'll also link this down below if you want to give it a watch. Now, if you are wondering when the next time you can play Battlefield 6 is before the official launch, then it's time to sign up for Battlefield Labs. If you don't know what Battlefield Labs is, it's where the community gets hands-on with testing upcoming features. Battlefield Studios just announced that they're getting ready to launch their next set of tests, and labs will be used to trial early builds, balance tweaks, and even experimental ideas before they go live, focusing on community feedback in general and the beta. One of the key focuses is combined arms testing, making sure vehicles, gadgets, and infantry combat actually work together on these massive maps. We know that the maps shown in the PC trailer, Firestorm and Mirak Valley, will be included in the Battlefield Labs test, meaning that vehicles are going to get fully tested to the limits. Hopefully they're able to balance the helicopters a bit better, as while we were able to put in the work with them in the beta, it didn't feel great, especially with half the enemy team having Stingers. Labs is also going to test the long-requested server browse feature. At first it will sit under Portal, but eventually it'll be accessible from the main menu. This means you'll be able to filter and find servers by custom tags, descriptions, and settings, making it easier to jump into exactly the kind of experience that you want. The beta did have a custom search feature, but it didn't work too well, as you'd often end up in maps completely different than the ones you selected, but the developers did say the beta version was a work in progress. In the example image here, we can see custom servers, Conquest 24/7, jet-only maps dedicated to air combat, Rush 24/7 across all maps, and chaotic customs like knives, defibs, and hammers only, or even jet racing on Liberation Peak. It gives a clear picture on how the community will experiment with both serious and more playful matches, which is really cool and a staple of Battlefield. And speaking of Portal, Portal is essentially Battlefield's sandbox mode or editor, letting you completely change the rules of the game. This version of Portal has been upgraded to include more features, and in the trailer we get a glimpse at some of the things that players will be able to create, like massive towers and jet-packed matches. We did get a screenshot of the modifier system, and in Portal, this system gives players deep control over the game's mechanics and options. For example, we know you'll be able to tweak everything from full damage multipliers to health regeneration and soldier movement speed, even whether sprinting or proning is even allowed. Combining this with vehicle and AI modifiers, we know that we can build modes that will feel like an entirely different game while still running in Battlefield's engine. Now, we're really excited to see what people will come up with for this, especially since the Portal also supports advanced scripting and UI customization. So if you want to design a custom scoreboard or create NPCs with unique behavior, you can do that. Another really cool thing is that verified community creators will also give full XP progression. This means we can dive into those custom experiences without feeling like we're missing out on unlocking rewards. There's also post-launch support planned for Portal, with more modes, maps, and features being added over time. So that's where we're at with Battlefield 6. Between the PC trailer showing off some of the new features and the reveal of Mirak Valley, there's a lot of things for players to dig into. It feels like the game is finally bringing back some of the traditional Battlefield DNA that people felt was missing in the beta, while also trying out new things at the same time. We'll have to see how this all plays out when the lab's testing kicks off, and how much the community feedback actually shapes the final release. But for now, it's looking like a step in the right direction. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you want to keep up to date on everything Battlefield, because we got you. Here at Arix Gaming, we're two friends who love to play games. You have me, Paradise, as well as 26.
Our goal is to keep the videos as concise as possible by cutting out any of the fluff and focusing on what really matters with high quality videos.
So make sure you're subscribed down below for more videos on your favorite games coming very, very soon.